In the high-stakes world of women's championship 9-ball, it's all about moving on. Today, the world's #1 ranked player, Allison Fischer, will take on 16th ranked Sarah Ellerby to see who'll move into the semifinals of the WPBA Classic Doors Midwest Classic. From the Paradise Hotel Casino in East Peoria, Illinois, it's quarterfinal action. Mueller Recreational Product Midwest Classic, presented by the American Pool Players Association. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the Paradise Hotel Casino. As always, Mitch Lawrence, alongside my partner in the booth, the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence. Ava, quarterfinal action. It's starting to really heat up now. Intensity building. Two players coming from completely different places in terms of their appearances on TV and their acceptance of the pressure that's involved.
Absolutely. I mean, you have Allison Fischer, who is so used to this, not only being on these televised matches, but also winning. And then you have somebody who's really been looking to make a mark for herself in the sport, Sarah Ellerby, who's been playing super for a long time, but never quite made it to this setting. So it'll be interesting to see if she can handle the pressure.
Now, let me ask you a quick question. Sarah had Allison's poster on her wall growing up. This is somebody that she really was aware of growing up. Do you think that's going to have any effect on how she's going to deal with Allison in terms of playing against her right now?
Well, she's played her a few times. I saw earlier in the tournament they played, and I believe Sarah missed either 2 or 3 9-balls. Very crucial situation. She had a chance to possibly beat Allison earlier, so I think that may work to her advantage in this spot. We'll see.
And as we wait for Allison Fischer and Sarah Ellerby to get underway, let's take a look at a little bit of a different format here in East Peoria, Illinois. In quarterfinal action, and here are the 8 players left out of 64 that started the week. Allison Fischer, Sarah Ellerby, the winner of this match. Meet the winner of Monica Webb and Kim Shaw. Dayoon Kim, Jennifer Chen, do battle Julie Kelly, and Elena Kornfeld. And we will move on in single elimination format until one of these 8 will wear the crown. This is Allison Fischer. She loves the crown here at the Midwest Classic, Ava, the 3-time defending champion at the Midwest Classic. Karen Corr and Allison Fischer have divvied up this title. Karen in 2001, and in the 3 consecutive years after that, Allison Fischer has owned it. She loves it here.
That's incredible. Even a player of Allison's caliber, as many tournaments as she has won, as many titles as she has, haven't been that consistent in one. Obviously, she loves. You know, it's interesting because here in Peoria right now, summertime, a little bit humid. There must be something about that she has no problem or less of a problem than other players. She really likes the whole format, the venue, the crowd, everything.
Ball on the opening break to the Duchess of Doom.
A little bit of a weak break here, as you can see. All those balls, she hit it offside a little bit, which resulted in the cue ball landing way down here on the rail. The lucky thing for Allison is that the 1 ball went in, and she has the 2 right here. And look at the 2-9, Mitch. I wonder if there's anything she can do with that and play a safety at the same time. She may be able to fire it into the side pocket,
10.
Hold the cue ball, and try to hide it behind the 6 and the 3.
Takes her extension, and as she does so, we'll quickly give you the rules of the game. It's a race to 7 to move into the semis. 30-second shot clock and 1 extension per rack, an alternating break format, and it will be cue ball fouls only.
And she's going for this. She's going to play it in the corner. Really offensive here, moving the cue ball up, down table. Hope to leave a really tough shot. You can see here she's lining it up for the corner. Oh, it almost went in off the 8, but look at this. That resulted in a good defensive shot at the same time. Sarah can see a piece of the 2 ball, but it's a really long length of the table shot.
She'll have to come with it right away. Those of you watching will not be familiar with Sarah Ellerby. This is her first time on TV. Originally from North Yorkshire in England, now living in Orlando, Florida. Goes for it, and smartly
overcut it. You're right, Mitch. She hit it on the correct side, on the champion's side, which means she left a tough shot for Allison as opposed to missing on the other side, where chances are she would have sold out. And I think she actually, you know, odds are good that she actually played that safety, Mitch, because of where the 3 ball is. There was really no way to get position on the 3. Allison's going to use these 3 balls to try to hide behind here. Yeah, good enough.
Very, very good crowd here in East Peoria. They've been here all week watching the best women in the world. As the Duchess of Doom sits down, we will quickly mention this terrific playing equipment. That is a beautiful Manhattan table by Brunswick Billiards, Centennial balls also by Brunswick, Simonis 860 cloth on the table, and the big break rack courtesy of Brunswick Billiards also. We thank them. And Sarah Ellerby, look at that. Will she be rewarded with the 3, Ava?
No, and you know what? She played such a good safety there. She hit it exactly the way she wanted to hit it, to knock the 2 ball to the other side of the table. If it would have just missed the side pocket by a hair, she would have left a good safety. Instead, the 2 ball went in, and now she has no shot at the 3. As you can see there, apparently she can hit just a sliver of the 3 ball, try to send it down to the other side of the table in the center, on the center rail. Try to get this cue ball here, Mitch, behind the 4 and the 6. Oh, neither one worked, and look
She
at this,
won't be
wide
happy
open.
with that one.
Not at all. Her only saving grace here is the fact that the 4 and 6 are just a little bit tied up. Obviously, there's a combination there. You can shoot the 4-6 combo, come to the other side, maybe play it in the other corner, but I don't think the combo would be too big of a problem for Allison. Well, the fact that she was jacked up there a little bit, she mishit it a little bit, it scooted off to the left, and now I don't think she'll be going for the combination anymore.
See the Duchess of Doom with another unbelievable year in 2005. Winner of the Carolina Classic, the Great Lakes Classic, the BCA Open 9-ball championship already, and the Amway Cup. Sarah Ellerby have a chance here again, Ava.
Yeah, this is wide open here. She was in a tough situation there because she mishit that 3 ball, and there was no reason to go for a tough combination at that stage of the game. She tried to play a safety. She wanted to leave the 4 down here at that side of the table. Now, open for Sarah. The good thing about this, she pretty much just has to play a speed shot here. She has built-in angle to get down for the 5. She doesn't have to do anything fancy with the cue ball. The fact that it's so close to the corner pocket. Just avoid the scratch. Oh. And those, Mitch, when you're playing Allison Fischer in this situation where the venue that she loves, under the TV lights that she loves, you can't make those errors even this early. That stuff can come back and haunt you, where you think back and you went, oh yeah, I missed that 4 ball early on, and you have to take advantage.
Well, what it does also is it puts pressure on Allison. If you start making shots off her misses, and it is the only way, she'll be the first one to tell you, to get to Allison.
You bet, absolutely.
Down table for the 5.
And it's pretty well open here, Mitch. 5 balls, 6 is obviously by this pocket, 8's right here. The only somewhat of an issue is where the 9 ball is placed. She's going to have to shoot a longer shot on the 9, possibly into the corner pocket. But should not be any major problems for Allison here. She's really taking her time. First rack jitters, planning ahead.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about Allison's great records over the years, and over the last decade, I don't think there's any question that she has proven to be, if not the greatest Q sportswoman ever in the history of the game, just based on titles and everything else.
Absolutely.
Certainly one of the top couple. And last event at the Florida Classic, the big news was that Allison did not make it to the TV round, finishing 5th. That's how you have an idea of how dominant a player is, when the news is she didn't get there.
There was a lot of sigh of relief when she got knocked out of that event. I remember that was funny. All right, so here's that little tester where she's got not a really difficult shot, but it's the length of the table. Going to draw the cue ball a little left, help the 9 ball in a little bit, a little bit of right. Sorry. No problem
at all. And as we said before, will Sarah Ellerby rue that miss on the 4 ball? We'll find out. Allison Fischer up by a rack in East Peoria. The Mueller Recreational Products Midwest Classic is brought to you by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league. By Brunswick Billiards. Since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. And by Mueller Recreational Products. Over 7,000 billiard and dart products in their catalog and online at Muellers.com. The Paradise Hotel Casino in East Peoria, Illinois, the site of the Mueller Midwest Classic presented by the American Pool Players Association. Mitch Lawrence and Ava Mattia Lawrence, the Striking Vikings, here with Sarah Ellerby and Allison Fischer. Quarterfinal action, kind of bonus coverage for all of those of you who like watching Championship 9 ball. Glad to be bringing you the quarterfinals to see who'll move into the finals. And then the final, a chance to win the title here in East Peoria. Sarah Ellerby down 1-0 to Allison Fischer.
Solid break, as you could tell, very soft break. She didn't put a lot of power in that. She's noticed one of the balls going in. She kept the cue ball towards the center of the table right here. But what happens a lot of times when you do that is the one ball goes down and lands on that end rail. It doesn't have enough power to pop out and give you a shot. So she's going to have to start with a safety here. And try, she got it behind the 4 ball. Well done. Nice touch right there. No, that's tough, Mitch. You got all this space from here to here to judge the right speed to hide behind one single ball laying out there.
This is a very, very focused and driven player, Sarah Ellerby. Even though you have not seen her on TV before, she has been hanging around the upper echelon of the world of 9 ball, currently ranked 16th. But she is a terrific player, and as tournament director Steve Tipton moved in there by the slimmest of margins. Did Allison Fischer miss? And so ball in hand for Sarah Ellerby there.
Yeah, she was just trying to lag that and make sure she didn't break those open, because even if she did miss it like she did, Sarah doesn't have an offensive shot here. The best she has either a safety or a bank. And Sarah is going for the smart shot. She's going to shoot the 1 ball straight on. 1, 2, 3 rails down in this area and stick the cue ball right there behind the 3. There's a hit and stick shot. You've got to make sure the cue ball doesn't pop out of there. There you go. Perfectly freeze it to the 3. Textbook perfect. And look at this 1-9. Are they going to line up? Not a bad option for her to have. I think this. If the 1 rail kick is blocked by that 6 ball on top of it, Mitchell, Allison has a tough way to go here. She's going to have to go multiple rails to be able to hit this 1.
And if you're Sarah Ellerby, I think you got to feel good about back-to-back shots that she has played to get to this position after a miss in the opening rack. Letting Allison get hold of that rack to come back with those 2 shots, I think, has to say something for Sarah's composure under pressure.
Absolutely. And here, Allison is faced with she's looking at a 2-railer, end rail to side rail. Tough to judge here. She's jacked up a little bit. She's got the 3 ball right there. Really tough shot. She almost got lucky off the point and hit it. And that puts her on 2 fouls. And not only that, the interesting part is we'll see if Sarah's going for the 9 ball. I can't really blame her. She needs a win here. Even though the balls are pretty open, it's hard to pass this up. It's not a straight-in combo.
This is the classic. Sorry, this is a classic risk-reward. If she gets it, very much pumped up will she be.
You bet.
If she misses it and leaves this table open for Allison in a race to 7, so it was a big shot for Sarah Ellerby. Let's see if she can pull it off. No problem. And you saw her hang around that position for a while. Let's add a sigh of relief. Big time play by Sarah Ellerby there against the Duchess of Doom. crowd in East Peoria loving it. No combination is easy, Ava. This is great work by Sarah.
And she played good pocket speed here. It hit that edge a little bit, but because she didn't fire it in, the pocket accepted it anyway. Well done.
Trying to get to the semifinals. We're tied in Peoria.
Closed captioning provided by Ozone Billiards, your online source for billiard supplies.
Back in East Peoria, Illinois at the Mueller's Midwest Classic, Allison Fischer, the Duchess of Doom, leading 2-1, moving into rack 4. And rack 3 characterized by a number of safeties, and then Sarah Ellerby at the table with this shot on the 6. And she provided a little bit of commentary after she hit it. She went, oops, because she just left that 6 right by the pocket. Allison Fischer, thank you very much. Steps to the table, finishes off rack number 3, and here we are. 2-1 in a race to 7 to move into the semifinals of the Midwest Classic. The winner will meet the winner of Monica Webb and Kim Shaw. Mitch Lawrence and the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence, here with you. Sarah Ellerby, living in Orlando, Florida, originally from Pickering in North Yorkshire in England. So 2 English women going at it here in America. WPBA Classic 9-ball tour.
That was a good, solid break. She knew the corner ball had a tendency to go, and unfortunately for her, the 1 ball went in the side pocket as well. And look where the 2 ball is here. Slightly of a hidden behind the 5. I think she can hit it, but obviously no offensive shot there. So she can hit the right side of it. I think she's just going to try to hold the cue ball behind the 5 and the 9. No, she hit the other side of it. This is not good unless it squeezes behind that 3. She'll take it. She'll take it. No, you know what? She left an open shot. The look on her face. It was close, but it looks like it might. I don't know. It's tough to tell. Looks like Allison can make this 2 ball in the corner, hold the cue ball right there for the 3.
And that is just the tiniest of margins. If that ball is just a hair behind the 3.
You're right. She almost got really fortunate there.
And you see Sarah Ellerby behind Allison putting her cue down. It's always a sign that you know you might be there for a little while in your chair.
Good point. Good point. Now, Allison wanted to be a little bit straighter on this 3 ball than she is. Looks like she's going to have to force the cue ball over to the other side of the table and back to get on this 4. And she did so, but because she had to slam it, she lost a little bit of distance there. And now all of a sudden the cue ball, instead of being up here for an easy automatic almost run out, she's got a tough long shot on the 4. Good thing is the 5 passes in this corner pocket, and she has a good angle. If she just stops it right there, gets off the rail a little bit, she'll have a good angle to get back up for the 6.
Characteristic pause at the back of that backstroke by Allison Fischer. This is somebody who is so tuned into her own rhythm and her own pre-shot routine. Same repetitive strokes all the time.
And that is what always results in her being so incredibly consistent. Very few unforced errors by Allison. And that's why she makes it look so easy. Her mechanics are so perfect. Very few flaws in Allison's approach to the table, approach to the shot. And that one she hit almost too good, Mitch. Is almost straight in on this. Going to have to force it with a little bit of left. try to go out 2 rails and come out to the center of the table for position on the 8 in the corner. Well done.
Started playing at 7 years of age in Chessington, England, on a 1-foot-long table, a 6-foot table at age 11, a 12-foot snooker table at age 12, and by 14, told her parents, "This is my life's work." Won her first world snooker title at 17. Came over here in 1995 on the WPBA Classic Tour, and truly the rest is history. You cannot put it any other way. Back-to-back racks for the Duchess of Doom, now leading by 2 over Sarah Ellerby.
Game 4, Miss Fischer. These 3 games to 1.
As we do every year, we have had a fabulous week here at the Paradise Hotel Casino. It bills itself as the friendliest casino in the Midwest. We see no reason to argue. Such a familiar face to those of you who love the game of 9-ball. Allison Fischer seated, waiting for Sarah Ellerby to break in rack number 5. Allison's week here in East Peoria, 4 consecutive victories, match victories. Already with 1 over Sarah Ellerby. As we said, a tough, tight match, 9-5, a little deceiving. Very, very close match. And then a tense, tough match over Vivian Villarreal that Allison said had her feel like she was hanging on by a thread to get through that match against Vivian and move her into the quarterfinals.
That was a fun offensive match. They had the crowd at the edge of their seat, and they had a standing ovation at the end of it. It was just both players just gave each other a hug and Vivian even said congratulate. I mean, it was just one of those fantastic matches.
As Allison comes to the table, I mistakenly said Sarah had the break, but it is Allison Fischer. Indeed, and she will stay at the table, Ava.
Well, and this time, same soft break, but she added a little bit of draw. Instead of the last couple of breaks, the cue ball's been down here. Now it's up at this side of the table. And look at this. She's got a shot at the 1. And hopefully, for Allison's sake, she's got enough of an angle to it looks like she can drift the cue ball down for the 2. That's all the way down at the other side of the table. Doesn't want it to get too close. Not too close. That'll work. Got a bit of an angle, but she should be fine. The worst case scenario, she has an excellent opportunity to play a safety, but I think she can make it. Controlling the cue ball when you have it to hit it this thin is tougher because you got to make the cue ball move a little bit. Be interesting to see which way she goes. If she's going to just thin this and hide the cue ball, yeah. Got to get to a rail. Well done, but she left an open, easy kick for Sarah here. Just a little bit of rail first. She may even be able to hit it directly.
And now for Sarah, I think, Ava, as we look at the balls, I think for Sarah, the key work now is you're down 1-3. It's a race to 7. She had some good shots early, but she's got to be really careful about maintaining her focus and staying on top of it. It's so easy to just kind of say, well, I'm playing Allison Fischer, I'm down by a couple of racks.
Right, and think about the mistakes that you made earlier that got you in that position. But, you know, if you can judge by her face, she still looks very focused. She's not hanging with her head. She's just all business out there. Every shot now, though, is crucial when you're down 3-1 against Allison and you've raised to 7.
Normally a very, very positive person is Sarah Ellerby. said,
All
good
right.
kick, and where is it going to wind up is the question.
She wants that to get a little closer. Well, I don't know. I think she's going to be playing a safety again, Mitch. Allison, I mean, unless she's really, really on, way, way ahead. You know, Allison is a big proponent of playing safeties, and I think that with this angle
Yes.
on this, too, I'd be surprised if she went for it. I think she's going to just try to move that cue ball behind the 9 and 5.
Well, she's also, you say, a proponent of safety. She's a proponent of keeping the pressure on the other player, too.
She is.
And she is keeping Sarah Ellerby on her heels and not able to really get anything going. Now she's just trying to make contact and keep Allison somehow from getting control of this table.
And when you play Allison, you know, you literally feel like you can't breathe. Because not only, you know, does she play incredibly smart and she really plays the correct percentages, but she hits the shots so well, whether it's the run out or the safeties, like in this case. Her cue ball control is so strong. All right, couple of little things are going Sarah's way here. She's got that kick shot right there. The 8 is blocking the pocket. She can't make the 2 ball on the side. So even though she's not really getting lucky per se with tough leaves, she is holding her own here and holding Allison from being able to get that open shot to start a run. Well, you know what? I think Allison is going for this. She's going to try to cut it with a little bit of low left into the corner, draw the cue ball around 3 rails. Up for the 4, perfect. And again, like you said earlier, Mitchell, you saw in the background Sarah put her cue away knowing that she's going to be there for a while. Because the balls are wide open. Just needs to make this 4, draw it straight back. About a foot.
Allison saying on the other shot,
That's at the
one pocket blocked, I'll just go the other way.
She drew it a little bit farther than she wanted, but now she's going to just draw the cue ball in deep. Make the 5 ball in here, then draw the cue ball 1, 2 rails and come out in this area to play the 6 down in the corner. Low right. And a little too much speed there, Mitch. Look at this.
Very interesting to me.
Just a little firm.
Very interesting because normally one of her obvious strengths is speed control, and just a few shots that have gone a little bit too far.
Right. But in that particular situation, that's why she knew she went too far. She needed that force to be able to whip the cue ball around, avoiding contact with the 9 ball, avoiding the scratch, and so you need to hit it with some punch. And it was easy to make that exact mistake that she just did.
Once again, Sarah comes to the table having to follow a safety by Allison Fischer.
No easy safety here, Mitch. Looks like she's thinning the 6. Have the 6 go into the rail and back out again. And well done. All she did, she knew the 7 was right there, so that was going to block the pocket. All she had to do was play enough speed to get the cue ball down to the end rail.
Critical game for Sarah Ellerby here.
It really is. Interesting to see here if Allison has enough confidence in just slow rolling this ball. No, she came all the way around. That's got to slow down. Well, the 6 slowed down just in time to where another 2 inches, Mitchell, and she would have left a wide open shot for Sarah.
Back and forth we go.
Well, again, Sarah can see the 6, but she can only hit the wrong side of it. She can hit this side of the 6. So she's going to have to try to play it safe. Now, what she'd like to do if the cue ball's a little closer is maybe clip very, very thin on the left side of the 6 and whip the cue ball around. I wonder if she can see enough to bank it. Is that what she's doing? She's cueing it very low.
Yep.
Okay, so she played a safety. She could hit the opposite side of it.
Oh, she wants
That's
that
the last
to move.
thing
Yep.
she wanted. Just went into that 6. She played good speed. It's just that it went right, 6 ball went right into the 9 and left the shot for Allie here. Kind of a sluggish match.
It is.
You know, just.
It's interesting sometimes. Sometimes they're clean, sometimes they're crisp. This one is just not quite that way. But if you're Allison Fischer, you're liking what's happening.
You bet. That's a good shot there, man.
Yep. Because it's just those little tiny errors and little tiny breaks that if you're Sarah Ellerby, the next thing you know, you're about to be down 4-1 in a race to 7.
Right. It's kind of one of those where neither player is coming with a super safety. A lot of times you'll see a super safety resulting in ball in hand, boom, game's over. And here, both players are sort of playing good safeties, good enough to where the other person isn't going anywhere, but then the other person is playing another safety back good enough to where the other player is not going anywhere, and that's why it's kind of has that sluggish feel to it. But Allison now winning this game, going up 4-1. I don't know. Sarah's got a tough way to go here. She needed that. Sarah needed this game big time.
Really did. But the bottom line is Duchess of Doom, 3 racks in a row and a 3-rack lead for the 3-time defending champion. Sarah Ellerby at the table, originally from Yorkshire, North Yorkshire in England, now living in Orlando. Here has been her week in East Peoria, Illinois. Good opening wins at 9-3 and then losing to Allison Fischer. At that point, still in double elimination in this tournament. Moved over and beat Dawn Hopkins and Tiffany Nelson in a very, very exciting match. And here she is. At that point, to 16, there was a blind draw, moving into a single elimination format. And here we are in the quarterfinals. Allison Fischer leading 5-1 now as we move into rack number 7 over Sarah Ellerby. She takes a deep breath. This was a difficult rack. Look at this shot on the 4. Stymied a little bit. And Allison Fischer just keeps coming up with the shots necessary, Ava, to get her into the lead and move on into the next matches. It's what she has always done while she's been here. Sometimes it's perfect and sometimes it's not. But she is finding a way to make Sarah Ellerby pay for any kind of tiny mistake that she's been making, and now leads 5-1 in a race to 7.
Yeah, nobody punishes you the way Allison does. I mean, she gets nervous too. She gets rattled also. But if you don't come at her right in the beginning, once she gets loosened up, like right now, up 5-1, balls are wide open. I don't like Sarah's chances of getting to this table here. She's got a lot of work to do, obviously, but the fact that she's confident right now, she can make the 1 here. She just has to choose and commit to where she wants to make the 2 ball. She can make it have the cue ball go straight down and play the 2 in the same corner as the 1. What she has to do is clear the 6 ball and the 8, and she got there.
Chance to move into the semifinals of a tournament she has won the last 3 years in a row. The Midwest Classic here in East Peoria, Illinois, on the banks of the Illinois River. Beautiful spot, very peaceful, quiet, nice pace of life here in the Midwest. And Allison Fischer loves it here.
This is a speed shot here, Mitch. She wants to get pretty much straight in on this 4 ball. Well, she's all right. Even though she has more of an angle than she wanted, she's just going to have to make the cue ball move a little bit more. I'm guessing she's going to try to get it this way and spin it back out for the 6. About a right draw. You buy that 9. perfectly. Look at that.
She's in good rhythm now. And if you're Sarah, you can see her just kind of sitting there leaning in her chair. You work hard to get to a certain point. And as we said, you better take advantage early of Allison, because once she builds up a head of steam, there is nobody who is a better closer in the history of the game than this one. You mentioned it earlier, Ava, and I think it's been such a key component is the pressure aspect that she puts on you, because you know you can't make that many mistakes. It's just got to force your hand.
Well, and I think experience, knowledge, shot making, position play all goes in, you know, Allison's column. But hunger and desire, you know, can create a lot. And I know that Sarah had that, but it doesn't mean that you're ready to show up. You can have all the hunger and desire in the world, but sometimes if you have too much, you try too hard. And she just led Allison to the table way too many times. And that's where the experience takes over. And she's playing her best right now. She's got a little bit off there, just a hair, nothing serious. She just has to take a little bit longer shot on the 9.
Why am I feeling it's not going to be that much of a problem?
I know.
This would be to get on the hill, and 5 consecutive racks for the Duchess of Doom. Dead center. Allison Fischer on the hill, 1 rack away from moving on. It's time to recognize another one of our top finishers here in East Peoria, Illinois at the Midwest Classic, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Another good performance by up-and-coming star on the WPBA Classic Tour, 13th ranked Jennifer Beretta.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Beretta, and you're watching the WPBA Midwest Classic.
As tournament director Steve Tipton does his work, it gives us a chance to thank a couple of great official products of the tour. That would be Centennial Balls and the Big Break Rack, both by Brunswick Billiards. Moving inside the Paradise Hotel Casino here in East Peoria, Illinois. The Mueller Recreational Products Midwest Classic presented by the American Pool Players Association. Mitch Lawrence and the Striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence. Sarah Ellerby has worked so hard this week to get to this point. Meets up with the Duchess of Doom, finds herself down 1-6 in a race to 7. The only way she'll move on, Sarah, is to win 6 racks in a row. Seems like quite a tall order against one, if not the greatest player in the history of the game. But a nice break by Sarah Ellerby. 2 has a pocket, ball spread open, Ava. She might just stay at the table here for a while.
She might. This is what she needed. And other than where the 3 ball is, the balls are spread open. This is her first shot's going to be the key shot. You can see here she made 3 balls on the break perfectly, but look where the 3 ball is. It's got really no pocket. Oh, that's what she needed right there. A little nudge, a little help from the 9, and now all of a sudden, the key shot, the only problem she had on the table was solved right there. The 3 didn't go in either corner, so now she has an open shot instead into the side pocket. 5 wide open, 6 by a pocket. All she needs to do from here is play cue ball position and get on that 8. See where the 8 is on the rail? That's going to be her only possible problem in the rest of this rack. She needs a good angle here on the 6 to get over for the 8.
She takes that look, walking around. Started playing because her brother Robert played. And she said, I didn't like being left out. So she picked up a cue, started playing English 8-ball. Mom Hazel, Dad Mike, everybody, close family, and loved playing English 8-ball. Became an English 8-ball champion with over 80 titles to her name. The European 8-ball champion. Came over here to America to follow Allison Fischer, Karen Corr, another great European players who have taken advantage of the tour. Let's see what happens with the 8 that Ava was talking about.
Yeah, the fact that she left herself so far away there, so much distance between the cue ball and the 6, it was tough to kill it right there and come over for the 8. That was not the best place that she could have placed herself. And therefore now all of a sudden she has a tough, thin cut all the way down the length of the table on this 8. Good thing is she doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball other than watch out for the scratch cross side.
You know what?
Perfect.
That was a
Great
beautiful,
shot.
beautiful stroke there by Sarah Ellerby. And finally, the crowd and you at home getting to see a little bit of what has gotten Sarah Ellerby here this week. There you go. A wry smile as she says, okay, still here, not quite done yet. Allison Fischer still on the hill, but the crowd loving it in East Peoria. The Mueller Recreational Products Midwest Classic is brought to you by the Paradise Hotel Casino, the perfect climate for winning. By Brunswick Billiards, since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. And by Mueller Recreational Products, over 7,000 billiard and dart products in their catalog, and online at Muellers.com. East Peoria, Illinois, the Paradise Hotel Casino. Allison Fischer up 6-2, one rack away from moving into the semifinals of the Midwest Classic. She'll chalk it up and let it fly. Sarah Ellerby with really good work in rack number 8 to get her second rack on the board with a break and run. She had been waiting for that the whole match. Now let's see how Allison Fischer responds.
Now look at that break. Ball in the corner. And Allison knows she could put it away right here. Open shot at the 1, right in the side pocket. And it doesn't hurt that the 2 is laying right there by the corner. And all she's looking at now, Mitch, is to get the right angle to bring the cue ball up here for the 3. So by measuring, before even hitting the 1, you want to take a look at where the 3 ball is. To get down to that 3 is the key shot so far in this rack. Her first hurdle. You know, with the alternate break format too, where both players have a chance at the table, if you get way behind, it's really tough to catch up if you're playing somebody that is playing as steady as Allison, because when it's her turn at the table, if she makes a ball on the break, you're in trouble. And being on the hill the way Allison is right now, she's going to have at least 3 chances at finishing this off. And if things go that way for her, it's going to be a lot easier than if that would end up on top of the 3. She got a little lucky there, Mitch.
See her just standing there watching it slow roll down to the rail. Takes a look over at the 4.
All right, that's just perfect. She got the perfect angle here to make the 4 and have the cue ball naturally drift over towards the 5 ball. And Allison is looking now where she wants to be for this 5, because the 6 ball, she has to get all the way down here if she's going to draw the cue ball straight back. So if she gets straight in on this 5, then she's going to have to really play a touchy shot to get down. This is a little tricky here now. She got more angle maybe than she wanted to be able to draw it straight back, so she may be better off going across the table and playing the 6 ball in the opposite corner. She's right in between. She's kind of, she's not straight
Half
enough
there
to
and
go
half
straight
not,
back,
yeah.
but doesn't have, she's going to have to slam this, I think. And that makes the shot tougher to make. Is it going to get there? No. She just got it. She got right in that no man's land. She didn't get straight enough to draw it back. She didn't get enough angle to come across. And Sarah just peeked her head up and kind of stood up a little bit to see what was going on. And
Well, that's the thing. You know, when you're playing Allison, you get lulled into that sleep of watching her
Right.
at the table move around.
True.
And all of a sudden, a little opening. Still got a chance.
now it'll be interesting when to see what she does. She's going to have to slam this if she tries to make it. Go all the way around and back down again for the 7. Needless to say, a very difficult shot. And she'd have never gone for that had it been a different score. But you know what? You might as well fire at it a little bit. She got lucky because she didn't hit it hard enough to get down for the 7. And that's why Sarah now is faced with no shot. But I tell you what, she needs to bury Allison here. Allison knows she's on the hill and she can fire it openly at anything. So Sarah needs, if she can get that cue ball stuck behind the 7, she's in good shape to get another point.
I was going to say, do you go for the bank
she
here?
went
She's
for
watching.
the bank.
Yep.
Well, she got a little lucky. I don't know. It must have been something about the safety she didn't like. Either that or I think it was a little bit of a mistake going that offensively. I know she's far behind. But, well, I guess a judgment call. And she did get rewarded for it by not leaving an open shot for Allison. So we'll see.
That's one of those where you just won't know unless you're
Yeah.
inside Sarah's head and you want
Exactly
to talk to her
true.
later.
That's where if she makes it, everybody says, man, what a great bank. And if you didn't, everybody would say,
Yeah.
why'd you go for that bank?
It's like the
What were you
30-foot
thinking?
jump shot when the coach gets up and says, no, until it goes in.
Exactly.
What a fabulous thing.
All right, Allison wanted that cue ball to get right behind the 9, but she'll take it. And 6 being in the center of the end rail down there. The best she has right now is another bank shot. And now we'll see what happens again if she'll go off offense. Here, I don't even see a really good safe. There are a couple of different ways to go, but neither one of them are a great safety. She's going to definitely leave something for Allison. So going for the bank shot here is the move, I think.
Close on the last
And
one.
she
Will this one
did.
get it? Nope.
No good. And that could be all she
That
wrote
is all
right
she
there.
wrote right there.
Well, she was faced with a tough shot, but she had to go offensively there. There was really no good safety. Unfortunately for Sarah, that could have been the last time she was at the table. Her only chance right now is that Allison is straight in on the 7. She may be forced to take a really tough shot off the rail on the 9. She may have just enough of an angle to be able to get off the rail. Oh, yeah. No problem. Good shot.
This has been a terrific week for Sarah Ellerby. Her best finish of 2005 guaranteed. She had a 9th place finish at the Carolina Classic, first event of the year on tour. But she will have to come back and try it again another day. Allison Fischer, 7-2 over Sarah Ellerby. I'll be back. I don't know. What do you say? She's been around forever, it seems like. Back from where? Allison Fischer moves on. And now it's time for a super shot of the match brought to you by Simonis Cloth. Allison Fischer, the Duchess of Doom, at the table. Rack number 6, already leading 4-1, trying to put a big distance between her and
Sarah Ellerby faced with this shot on the 1. What does Allison Fischer do? Off the rail, 1 in the corner, cue ball around. Rack number 6. Wound up going to the Duchess of Doom as well. Look at that position. Little bit of a bump off the 4. And boom, Allison Fischer moves on 7-2 over Sarah Ellerby. Another terrific performance. Congratulations to Sarah on a great week. I'm sure we will see her again. And Allison Fischer will now wait for the winner of the Monica Webb-Kim Shaw quarterfinal matchup. They will meet in the semifinals. Keep your eyes open for all the terrific matchups from East Peoria. We're glad you've been with us for the Striking Vikings. I'm Mitch Lawrence. So long from Illinois. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers from the American Pool Players Association, Jimmy and Maggie Moore, local league operators, for their help this week in East Peoria. Accommodation provided by the Paradise Hotel Casino. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sport. For more, log on to ESPN.com.